Position. Oh shit. Let's get everything plugged in, charging, everything's going. I'm already recording. Beautiful. So, podcast number 4. Wow, we're almost using 2 hands. Terrible joke. So, podcast number 4. Let me just grab my notes up so I don't lose track, because I'm not sure if anybody's watched my other 3 podcasts all the way through, you'll probably know that I can ramble a little bit. So to try and help that, I have some notes, but I end up going off topic because I have so much that I want to pass on. But it's a good thing. The more podcasts I do, the better I'll get. There's a lesson in there somewhere, guys. Don't try and be perfect. Just do what you need to do and learn as you go. With most stuff, that's all right. So today's podcast is all about how to organize your training. All right. Now, this isn't going to be something that's super specific to like any goals, any body types, any age, any sort of situations that you're currently in, how your body looks, how your body feels. This is purely just how I overall kind of think about organizing training for myself, my clients, and I think that there might be some little bits of, I don't know, some golden nuggets of information in here that will hopefully just help you see how you're training overall. You just need to think about a bigger picture rather than just coming into the gym and coming out of the gym, alright? So, I mean, while I'm on that kind of small topic, I'd say from my estimates, about 60 to 80% of how you look and how you perform, whether you want to do strength work, endurance work, or whether you just want to literally just look as good as you can and you're not bothered about the numbers, is on what you eat like. It's how much sleep you get, it's what the quality of sleep is, how much good food you eat, how much bad food you eat as well. Like, you can always counteract your food, so don't feel like, you can have a really healthy, good meal and then eat like a huge bar of chocolate afterwards, because you've just kind of, your body's then going to have to work to get rid of all the crap that you've just eaten rather than just be able to enjoy all the good food. So there's both sides of eating good and bad food. Obviously, how hydrated you are, the quality of the water that you drink, the frequency of your workouts as well. Like, you can work out not enough, you can work out too much. So as a way to kind of overall summarize that, because I know there's a lot of different pieces in there, is basically just listen to your body. Like, if you're always sore and your energy's really low and you're not drinking a lot of water, that would be the first thing. Water, apart from breathing, water is the most important thing that you can put inside of your body. If you're drinking enough good quality water, and you can tell that by when you go for a pee, it'll be a little bit clear and a little bit cloudy. You don't want to have super white clear pee all the time, because you're probably overhydrating a little bit, and you don't want to have dark pee. Obviously, the first one in the morning you can give or take, because you've been sweating all night, and most people don't wake up, I don't, to drink water in the night. But the first thing you want to do in the morning is have a nice big drink of water to flush all your body, get everything working. So outside of that, because you need to have all that right, okay? Before you start and think about training, or someone that's already training quite a lot, if you don't have all those things in place, then you can do as much training as you want, and it's not going to be as effective as taking a little bit of time out of your training and making sure your eating's right, making sure you've got good quality sleep. Don't watch TV at night, read a little bit of a book, something like that, so your brain can relax, so you fall into the sleep, so you've got that good recovery time, so when you wake up, you're drinking the water, you're hydrated, you've eaten loads of good food the day before, then you can smash training, you get the good results, and it's all about the quality, not the quantity, alright? I'd much rather someone train twice a week and have good nutrition, good sleep, they're not stressed, than train 5 days a week and they're super stressed, they don't have time, they're eating shit, all of this type of stuff. Let me just put this on mute as well. There we go. So yeah, I think the quality of what you do is always way more important than the quantity of what you actually do, alright? So you need to get that sort of stuff sorted first, because if not, training becomes way less productive. So let's actually get into the meat and veg of the podcast. So the very first thing that I want to go through with kind of organising your training is you need to make sure that you're having enough rest, okay? Now, the old thing of overtraining. Now, personally, myself, I've gone from one extreme to the other, okay? I've gone from, I mean, wow, I used to do I did like 3 martial arts sessions a week, so like some jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, stuff like that. I would do 2 or 3 CrossFit sessions a week. I would then go to the gym outside of that and just do strength work twice a week. And then I would then do 1 sprint session a week and 1 longer run a week. And then most of the time I would end up sprinkling in another session somewhere, whether it was technique or just like generally foam rolling, just doing some rowing. So I've been in the situation where and that was with a day or 2 days rest as well. So I've been in the situation where I've trained, you know, sometimes 3 times a day, more than likely it was 2 times a day, 5 days a week. And then that, you know, that was lifting a lot of weights, doing a lot of movement stuff. So I've then gone from the extreme of, you know, having my big injury, not training for months, and basically starting back from scratch, going into the gym. You know, my numbers were super low on everything. I didn't have any energy because I was eating bad food. I was smoking a lot of weed as well, so my mindset wasn't right. And then obviously you smoke a lot of weed, you want to eat bad food. I wasn't hydrated, I wasn't sleeping well because of the weed. And then I basically had to bring myself through all of that, and then build myself up to where I am now, where I'm realistically training, I'd probably say 5 times a week. I'm training 5 or 6 times a week, having 1 or 2 days of full rest. But my nutrition's really good, I'm sleeping very well, I'm really making an effort to cleanse stress out of my life from all different sources. I'm very hydrated, I'm doing a lot of stretching after my workouts. If I've got any tightness or soreness, I'll always do a really good warm-up anyway, but if I've got any specific tightness or soreness anywhere in my body, I'm doing a lot of mobility work around that, and it's very proactive as well. So I'd say 3 or 4 sessions a week, so that's more than half. I'm doing like a good 20-30 minutes mobility every day on that as well. So overall, and you know, I've trained clients, I've been in kickboxing and martial arts gyms for about 12 years. I've taught a lot of different types of classes and boot camps and fitness stuff, and just generally being around people that are quite smart with this kind of stuff as well. So I've been absorbing a lot, I've been applying a lot, so I feel like I'm coming from a place of a little bit of experience. And the number one thing I can honestly say is rest. Is the ultimate factor, because you can train and eat really good food, but if you're not getting enough good quality rest, then your body just simply does not have time to repair the damage that you've done in workout. Because if you don't know, when you exercise, let's say you're using your biceps, the act of sort of exercising, you get to the point where you're like, you're really straining. That's your bicep basically working to its absolute limit. So what you're doing in that sort of state is you are literally tearing down the very small fibers that make up your muscle, and then the act of recovery, repairing, eating food, sleeping, all that sort of stuff, it basically rebuilds tissue back. But because your brain knows that you've been exercising, what it says to your muscle is, we need to make that muscle stronger, or we need to make the movement more efficient, or whatever it is that you're training in. When you recover, your brain and your body are basically learning that we need to get better at this. So then next time you come, you can lift a little bit more, or you can do an extra rep or 2, and then that obviously slowly makes a progress over a couple months, couple years. So if you're not having that recovery time, you're not allowing your body enough time to make those changes to get ready for the next workout. So rather than kind of making these micro jumps every week, what you do is you end up making these micro jumps going down. And then if you do that for long enough, that's when you can get ill. And you can see it on an extreme level, where you work so hard on a workout that you can throw up and pass out. Like, some people have died from working out too much because they've literally broken their tissues down in their body so much that you can get toxic, your organs can shut down and stuff like that. So that's obviously on a very extreme level. I'd say 99.9% of people never get to that sort of level. But it's just painting a picture that, you know, if you don't do the right things for your body, it doesn't matter, like, your intention, it's just not going to work. Your body at the end of the day is a machine, and it needs time to recover, reorganize, and just develop what you're wanting to sort of develop. So yeah, if you are also, a really important one that I want to kind of just briefly gloss over is stress, okay? Now, if you're someone who experiences a lot of stress, so like you've got a lot of stress at work, your family causes you stress, your friends are, you know, all sorts and blah blah blah, you know, you've got goals that you're kind of stressing yourself about, then all of these psychological stress factors add up into a certain, let's call it a bucket, all right? Now, you've got all these different things that are piling in the bucket. Your body sees exercise as a physical stress, okay? So if you've got all of these things going on outside of the gym, there we go. If you've got all of these things going on outside the gym, then when you go in the gym, you're going to feel terrible. You're not going to have any energy. You're not going to make any progress, because that stress bucket only has a certain level, okay? So one of the most important things that I sort of try to pass on to my clients is that if you want to make progress with your body, whether it's strength, endurance, how you look, stuff like that, you need to do your very best to eliminate stress. Because then what that allows you to do, if you say you normally have 6 things that stress you out, if you can minimize that down to 2, now you've got all this extra room in this bucket to put training in. Because your body, you know, naturally you will be able to deal with a certain level of stress. Everybody's got different stress tolerances. And then going back to sleep and eating right and being hydrated, if you have really good quality sleep, if you eat really healthy and you've got really good nutrition, you're keeping your body moving as well, so you're doing the stretching after the workouts, your body, that bucket gets bigger, all right? Or it might not get bigger, but it empties faster, so you can put more stress in the top, and it kind of, you know, it keeps going, so you become just more of an active person. So stress, for a lot of different reasons, I won't go into all the hormone reasons and all that sort of stuff now, because it's a bit complicated and I'll start and rabbit on too much. But if you can eliminate stress from your life from different sources, whether it's physical, emotional, or psychological, then you will see an improvement in your exercise, because you're allowing more resources in your body to deal with that stress, rather than stress from your job, or, you know, your other half, or, you know, you're stressing about your house or money or stuff like that. So yeah, try and get rid of stress as much as you can, because it will make a very big improvement to your exercise without actually doing anything like more strenuous in the gym, which is like, it's I don't know, you feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck with that type of stuff. So it's very, very important. And, you know, you're just happier as well. Like, I think a lot of stuff can be pulled back to, like, if something's going to make you happier, then I would really recommend doing that. You know, the fitness is just like a byproduct of that. Okay, so in terms of, like, the actual exercise stuff, I've blown on for 13.5 minutes, but, like, this is why I wanted to get that in first, because if you don't organise that stuff, then all of the stuff I'm going to talk to you about now, you might as well just not do it. Because, you know, it's you know, you're fighting yourself. You don't want to fight with yourself. So training, I'll talk about what I do, because that's, you know, what I do, and then I'll give you some tips in terms of how you can sort of relate to this, and practically sort of use what I tend to do, because I without sounding big-headed, I've got a lot of experience and knowledge in there, and I can sometimes take for granted that I can just pull workouts from the inside of my head and think about how I feel and what I want to do tomorrow and what I did yesterday, and, you know, what stuff interests me, and I can just come up with a workout in 5 seconds, and I feel really good on it. But not everybody's me, and not everybody's got my experience. So personally, what I really like to do is I like to do full body exercises. So I might start off with, well, I'll sort of explain today's workout that I did this morning, because that was a really good workout. So I started with a 1,000 meter row on the rowing machine, just to get everything nice and warm. I also did the rowing machine because I wanted to do some power cleans. So a power clean is basically when you take the weight from the floor, you lift it up to your hips. As you lift it up with your hips, you kind of explode through your waist, bring it up to your shoulder, and then you just stand up like 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch or whatever, or a couple of inches. So it's quite an explosive, big, full body movement. It's got a lot of sort of pulling in this direction. So a rowing machine, you kind of sat and you're pulling in that direction. So that's where my warm-up main exercise sort of link came into it. Built up to some heavy power cleans, so that's why I only did 1,000 meters on the rowing machine, because I wanted to keep my nervous system awake. I didn't want to kill my nervous system. So I did a couple of sets of power cleans, heavy power cleans. After that, I did some dips, so some bodyweight dips here. You just basically push up and push yourself up on the rings. I like doing Olympic ring stuff because rather than it being a fixed bar, which you can't move, rings will jiggle around, and kind of it forces you to use all those stabilizing muscles in your shoulders, as well as getting the actual movement exercise in there as well. From there, I basically dropped down and did pull-ups on the rings, but I did them with an L sit. So basically you stick your leg out like that, you hold that position as you do the pull-ups. They were super hard, but they're really good. Again, really good for your core, and obviously all your pulling muscles as well. And then after that, because I'd done a full body exercise with the power cleans, I did a push with the dips. That was a push. I did a pull with the pull-ups. I also got some core working with the pull-ups as well, and the power cleans are quite a heavy core exercise. If you don't think they are, then try and do a power clean without using your core. You won't, because you can't stand up without using your core. It literally holds all of the body pieces together, so you can't do anything without your core. So then I was like, right, okay, I need to do something for my legs, but I'm squatting tomorrow, so I don't want to squat. I don't want to do any deadlifts because that will tax my lower back more than what the power cleans already have. So I don't want to do deadlifts. I don't want to do any stiff-legged deadlifts as well because that's quite lower back heavy. So I thought, what can I do? And I was like, oh shit, I can push a sled. So I basically ran up and down the track a couple times. Started with quite a light weight, put a bit more weight on. Did up and down, put a bit more weight on, did up and down, put a bit more weight on, did up and down, and by that time I was, my legs were burning. So systematically what I did there was I did a full body exercise, I did a push, I did a pull, and then I did a legs, okay, and with a warm up at the start. I did loads of mobility foam rolling stuff to open up all my joints and get some movement, and then I do like coordination stuff with my warm up as well to get my brain and my nervous system activated. And then main lift, main exercise, a push, a pull, and a legs. That's a stereotypical workout for me. Like the other day, I did overhead squats with... What did I do my overhead squats with? I think I did overhead squats and bent over rows. So basically you hold the bar overhead. So you've got that holding position. Just basically squat down with that and squat back up. So that's obviously really full body exercise because holding a weight over your head, you've got all of these muscles, all of these, everything is holding, stabilizing all of the core. So you're not like, throwing the weight around. And then obviously you've got the squat as well. And then the bent over rows were just to kind of do some pulling. And then, squats. Do a lot of your legs. I can be quite quad dominant though, so I tend to use my quads quite a lot when I squat. So I just did some bent over rows just to get my lower back and my hamstrings in there, and just some good pulling movements because I haven't done some sort of bent over rows in a while. So with that, you can see with 2 workouts, I've pretty much hit every muscle group, every workout. Now the beauty of that is because I'm not doing chest, and that's it. I'm not absolutely smashing my chest to bits, which personally for a couple of reasons. One, I don't believe you are really going to get, apart from if you're like trying to bodybuild and you're really trying to break down the muscle as much as you can to get as much growth as you possibly can. I think there's an element to that sort of stuff that can be used, but I think you can kind of get around that with volume. So for one, I get bored training like that. If I just go in and train chest and I just chest this and chest that and chest this and then a bit of try, that bores me to death. I can't do that. Second reason is I can be very sporadic with my training. So sometimes I'll train twice a week, sometimes I'll train 6 times a week. If I go in every Monday and train chest and then I don't train for the rest of the week, and then I'll go in Monday the next week and I train chest, and then Tuesday I train back, and then I don't go in for anything else, and then the next week I go in and train chest. I've trained chest 3 times in 3 weeks, and I've trained my back once. and then it's like you're gonna end up really imbalanced. Like no matter how you train, unless you are the most consistent person with your training, and you can sort of prioritize training over any other life events, then I would not recommend doing a split like that. As well as you get bored. So another reason why I like to do that, so it's I feel like I get more out of my workouts as well. So if I can go in and do everything within my body, there is some science to be said that because you're activating more muscles, you have more lactic acid, so then you need more growth hormone, and then growth hormone is basically one of the best hormones that you can have releasing in your body. It sounds like growth hormone, it's going to make you all big and bulky, so if there's any women listening to this or any dudes listening to this that don't want to get big and bulky, please do not worry, don't turn me off right now. Growth hormone, to get bulky and big, you have to put some serious time, effort, energy, eating. You have to train very specific to sort of grow muscle mass as well. And even when you do all of that, it takes years, all right? So please trust me on this one. It's not easy to get super big and super strong, and a little bit of growth hormone is not going to do that. However, what growth hormone is absolutely amazing for is burning fat. So if you want to burn fat, no matter what workout or what goal you have, and most people tend to want to lose body fat, many muscles being activated at the same time, so full body workouts, have got the best bang for the buck. So for me, I enjoy my workouts more. I can be as infrequent or as frequent as I want, in terms of I'm not only training one muscle at once, and two, I do genuinely believe that it keeps me more, I enjoy my training more because I'm always going in and doing something different. Now the next thing is going back to recovery, because like say when I do an overhead squat, okay, I could come to the gym the day after and do actual squats in another workout, and then the day after that I could do lunges within another workout. So there, what I've done is I've done one type of squat, I've done two types of squats, and I've done a lunge. All right, so in 3 days I've trained my legs three separate times. Now, because I'm only probably pushing my legs to about 10 to 15%, maybe 20% of their maximum capability, because I'm eating really well and I'm training like balanced and I've got good sleep, I do feel like my body has enough chance to do the vast majority of the repairing, okay? Now, it won't have repaired completely, okay, but I do believe it will have done the vast majority. And again, because I'm not going into like smash my legs, I can afford my body to kind of be running at that sort of 80-90%. And then when I take my 2 days off at the end of the week, then my body, obviously, because that's happening with all my body. So by the end of the week, my body's starting to feel a little bit tired. You know, I need to sleep for a little bit longer. I need to eat more food. But then I have 2 days off, and I'm like buzzing to go again. So I do believe, for myself anyway, that the kind of balancing my training out like that through the week, I actually get more exercise in throughout the year. And a great example of this was someone was explaining about pull-ups. So he said, say if you went into a gym and you could do 10 pull-ups, okay? If I put a gun to your head and said do 11, you couldn't do it. So if you went into the gym one day and you did 10 pull-ups, and then you did another set of 10, and then you did your third set of 9, and then you were done. You were absolutely rinsed. You woke up the next morning, you were sore as fuck. You can't move, so you basically have to wait another full week. So in that week, you've done 29 pull-ups. All right. Now let's say you go into gym on the Monday and you can do 10 pull-ups, but you only do 6, and then you do another set of 6, and then you do another set of 6, and then you think, okay, feel pretty good. I'm going to carry on and do my other workout. And then it comes to Thursday, and you think, you know what, I'm going to do another set of 6 and another set of 6. So on week 1, you did 29, but then on week 2, you did 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So you've ended up doing one more pull-up, but you've had no soreness, all right? So if you think about applying that to all of your exercises, if you can slowly, you actually end up exercising more, but you have less unhappiness with soreness, and you're a lot more balanced. So for me, if you do that for a year, it's mad because you actually end up working out more, so your body does more work, but you feel like you've done less. So it's like a little cool trick that you can do with your body as well, which for me personally, I mean, I tried doing this a couple of years ago and I've never changed back. So, you know, if I'm a fully trained PT, I did martial arts for a long time, I've competed very low level CrossFit and strongman competitions back when I was like, you know, a bigger dude. And then, I've done mountain biking, I had my bad accident and I built myself back up, and I still stick to training multiple times a week. I've always got loads of energy. I could basically like, you know, max myself out any day of the week and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. So you have to be very careful with your workouts, guys. Don't overdo it on one day, because you've got to think about, with training, it's all about how much exercise you can do in the week rather than sort of how much exercise you can do in the day. So I always believe that it's very important to leave a little bit of energy left in the tank, because again, think about a stress bucket. If you sort of fill that stress bucket all the way up and you absolutely batter your body, you're not going to be as effective in work. You're not going to be as effective and sort of present with your family and friends, because you're going to be sat and you're just drained of energy. Like, you're not a professional athlete, you know. You don't need to be putting yourself through that sort of horrible, disgusting workout. Like, I finished my workout today and I was pretty tired, but after 5 minutes I could have probably done some more, but I didn't, because I've got stuff to do. I've got recording a podcast, I've got TikTok, I've got clients, I'm going to see family, I need to cook. Like, I have a life outside of the gym. So you don't need to batter yourself. And if you have a personal trainer who pushes you to the point where you feel like you're going to be sick, or you push yourself to the point where you feel like you're going to, you're shaking and your blood sugar's dropping and stuff like that, you do not need to get pushed that hard at all. Even professional athletes don't really push themselves that hard. There's a big misconception with an exercise, and you just basically don't need to do it. Like, trust me, you don't. The most important thing, like I said, is the quality of food that you're eating. Training is literally the sprinkling on top. It keeps your body moving. It helps your body get pushed a little bit. It releases good hormones. It's not the cake, it's the icing. All right, just remember that. Because I know I've waffled on and kind of jumbled around a little bit. But that's the main take home. Like, if you remember that when you go into the gym or when you go for a run or anything like that, you are applying the icing on the cake. You want to leave that session with enough energy so that you can do another effective session tomorrow, at the same time as not putting your body through so much stress that it has to sort of panic. Because when you do that, it's just not good. Like, you're breaking your body down. Like I said earlier, you're breaking your body down rather than building your body up. So yeah, you don't want to push yourself to an extreme, really, at all, if at all ever. Because yeah, it's just not good for you, and it's not enjoyable as well. Like, who enjoys, like, I mean, once upon a time I enjoyed pushing myself that hard, but now I get to push myself that hard, have a rest, and I push myself that hard and have a rest, and then at the end of the workout I'm good, rather than just constantly smashing myself all the way through the workout. It's more fun. Like, I actually enjoy my workouts now, rather than being like super serious and I'm like I'm gonna push this much weight and and like, it's like, nah man, like, get over that shit. Do you know what I mean? Just go in there, have some fun, and then you'll want to carry on the exercise process as well. Like, I think that's a really important thing. Like, if you're doing exercise that you find fun, whether that's the activity itself or the fact that you don't push yourself to the point where you're a puddle on the floor, you'll want to do it for the long term. And obviously doing things consistently and doing things for the long term is the key to actually being successful in what you're doing. If you're training for a marathon, you don't start off by running a marathon. You start off by running a few hundred meters, walking a few hundred meters, running a few hundred meters. And then, a couple of days later, you might do a little bit more. And you build it up slowly, yeah? You want to build yourself up rather than chunking yourself down. So that's it. It's been a very sort of mishmash podcast. That I do struggle sometimes getting all my ideas out. But the main thing is I'm trying, I'm learning, every podcast I do, I'm figuring more and more out. I'm sort of getting a little bit more streamlined. I probably need to make sure that I just stay very specific on a podcast. But it's very hard with health and fitness. Like, there's so many things that go into, like, I don't know, like, how you choose your exercises. It's like, well, how's your body feeling? Do you have any aches or pains? What exercises did you do yesterday? Have you been sat down all day? So do we need to get some movement going in your body before we start and do some squats? Because if we do some squats after you've been sat down all day, your hips are going to be tight, and then that could throw something out. There's all of this different stuff that goes on in my head when I start and talk about exercise and wellness and health and all this type of stuff. So hopefully by sort of putting these podcasts out, it'll be an amalgamation of all the stuff that I know, and it'll start to get a little bit more narrow and specific. I mean, yeah, and I mean, hopefully, like, what I want to get across in these videos as well is that there's more to it than just going to the gym. There's more to it than just going for a run. It is a lifestyle change. Like, if you want to be a healthy person, if you want to be an active person, it's not something that you can just go to the gym for 2 hours a week. I was thinking about this morning, actually, and I worked it out. If you go to the gym for 2 hours a week and you think that that's going to make a difference, I'm sure, let me just quickly work the maths out. I'm sure it's like 1.2% of your week. Let me just quickly work this out. I've already got the maths up on my phone. It might be backwards, but the maths is there. So it's actually 1.19% of your week. So if you think, if you can, that's like making a cake and you've got all of these ingredients and the cake tastes disgusting and you put a sprinkle of sugar in it. And you think that's going to make a difference? Hell no. You know, if your car runs out of petrol or diesel and you put this much in and you think that that's going to like help your car move, no. If you want to go to the gym 2 hours a week and you think that that's going to make any difference to your body whatsoever, you are very mistaken. And I'm sorry to be the one to give you that bad news, but the quicker you understand the fact that there are a lot of different things that go into your body, the quicker you will start to implement the things that go into what make up your health and your wellness, and the faster you will see results. Like, it's that thing of, you know, you can take the shortcut, but the shortcut only leads to the start of the actual race. You always need to go the long route with health and fitness. There's no pills you can take. There's no secret super fucking diet that you can go on. It boils down to, you have to move your body, you have to get rid of stress and recover, and you have to eat good foods. And that's it. That's as complex as those three needs to be. But within those three different realms, there are a lot of moving parts and they work together in different ways. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I feel like I've given as much as I can without sort of waffling on even more. But as always, if you've got any questions, please drop me a comment in the comments below. If there's anything that you want me to sort of go into that's very specific and I can sort of give examples and stuff like that, that's actually not a bad idea. I might start and do that anyway, because then that makes it a little bit more useful in terms of, so yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to start and do that. I think that might be a really good beneficial for people that are watching. Actually give out some sort of practical layout of a plan. Maybe like a free seminar would be pretty good, because that's the thing, it's hard to kind of drill down unless it's a very specific request, like I train like this and I want to get there, what can I do? It's like, okay, well, I can piece all of the different puzzles together and give you something very specific. So I might do some case studies, I might ask some friends and family and help them out, and then explain the process behind it and what to do. Because I think it's very important to know what to do, but it's also even more important to know why to do it. Because what I don't want to do is create dependency on me in any sort of way or form. Because you know, fucking, I'm gonna die one day. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to be dependent on what I say. I want to pass on knowledge, so you understand how to make the decisions for yourself, and then you can then pass that on to your friends and family if they're interested as well. So it's rising tides, you know. I don't want to build a fence around my garden. I want to build a bigger table so people can share. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Peace and love. I will speak to you all soon, and have a beautiful day.